We are Makilala TV, the first Filipino-American TV talk show in the New York metro area. Get to know us as we talk to the community leaders, innovators, advocates, and emerging artists who affect Filipino-American life.
Hello, my name is Cristina Pastor, and welcome to Makilala, the first and longest-running Filipino-American talk show in the New York metro area. With me is my co-host, Rachelle Ocampo. The Filipino food lovers of New York are in grief. We lost nearly half a dozen restaurants in the last 2 or 3 years. Maharlika, Jeepney, and on August 30, Purple Yam, the illustrious heir to Senrilon. Before that, Ugly Kitchen was the first of the big leagues to go. In today's episode of Filipino Restaurants, Comings and Closings, we will talk to two distinguished chefs and ask them what's going on. We are privileged to have two prominent names in the lively Filipino restaurant industry of New York, Chef Aris Tuazon and Chef Joel Javier. These two gentlemen couldn't be more opposite in their trajectory. Aris has been involved with many restaurants since 2001, starting as a dishwasher in a midtown restaurant. I love these kinds of stories, Aris. Grill 21, which is still around, was his first Filipino restaurant. He's now affiliated with Google Room and 87 Ludlow in Lower Manhattan. Joel, on the other hand, has been doing something totally different. He was a chef for many years for a Michelin-rated restaurant until he decided to open Flip It's, a pop-up dining experience in his home in Brooklyn. He would open on certain nights and host a certain number of people. It's been pop-up all the way for Joel, never a permanent location. Let's ask them about their two contrasting business models and also what they think of the future of the Filipino restaurant industry. Aris and Joel, welcome to Makilala.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, how are you guys? You look different and you look well.
Definitely getting older.
Okay. You know, I haven't been going out, so everybody looks different to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Aris, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Is high rent the biggest killer of restaurants?
I guess, yeah, you can say that. Rent has always been an issue for many businesses, especially nowadays. Before, that's the only thing that you have to worry about. But
Okay.
now the inflation is here. I mean, pre-pandemic is different from now, what we have here.
Yeah.
So,
We lost a lot of them during the pandemic.
yes, we did. Yes, we did. We lost the numerous Filipino restaurant
Correct.
across the city, and and each of these restaurant played an important role of it, and and we learned a lot from it. So rent, labors, and everything now is totally different, especially ingredients like.
We'll ask Joel also for his
yeah.
thoughts. Is rent an important part of the restaurant? Is that why you don't have a brick and mortar location?
That's definitely one of them. I think also the balance of the life work, right? I think a lot of, as years have gone by, a lot more people are realizing how much time is involved to open a restaurant, a successful restaurant at that.
That's right.
And to you talk about mental health and yada, yada, yada. That plays a lot of factor, right? Especially nowadays with the age of scrutiny and Instagram, there's more to restaurant than just good food now. You have to attract XYZ to come to yours. There's always a new place opening up every other day, a new trend. Yeah, and how do you compete with that?
Explain Flip It to us. How does it work?
It's mainly a private chef concept, more like a customized. It's more like I could create your type of dinner for you through customization.
Okay.
So I could go to your place, cook dinner, however you want, cocktail hour, buffet, you want coursed out.
Okay.
We work with you, we'll ask you your favorite dishes, then we'll create a menu based on that. We really work with our clients, and it's something that we offer that I think a lot of places don't. As Aris would know, other chefs would know, people open different restaurants because they get bored of the one food that they're, you create a menu that's successful and the the team knows how to do it. That's kind of it. So then you go, oh, you know what? I'm really into Mexican food. Then they go, maybe I'll open a Mexican restaurant. And then that's how it works. Because you can't just change the concept of your restaurant. Once it's established, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And the chefs were creatives.
That's
and,
right. Rachelle?
Did you guys have to change your strategy during the pandemic so that you can stay afloat? Or was it just like, let's just ride it out and hope that things will still be okay?
Well, the pandemic is everyone's first time. We don't know what's gonna happen, and we don't know what we're dealing with. So we have to deal with those. We have to adapt and create innovation. Like what's the expectation of these new customers that everybody learn how to cook during the pandemic.
Correct.
That's right.
That kind of like
Everyone was a cook.
yeah. So you have to come up now that people realize like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
we don't have to go to the restaurant anymore.
That's right.
So
And you can order online.
yeah, you can order online.
can
So
order
so many that evolved. But it's part of the game. I mean, you just have to keep reinventing and
When Maharlika, Purple Yan, and Jeepney closed, what went through your minds? Aris.
change probably. Like I said, that each of these Filipino restaurant kind of like played a very important role on this. Like
They're kind of legacy restaurants. Would you
Yeah,
consider them
yeah, I
legacy
think so
restaurants?
too.
Yeah,
Help
like
play a role.
we all learn from
Right.
what they did and what
Yeah.
what they become, and
That's right.
and from there you just have to really do things and keep going in what would be the new demand for this market, like the trends and everything.
Joel, your thoughts. What do you think? What went through your mind when
I think it's,
when you see this trend of restaurants closing?
those restaurants closing, for sure, it means that new ones would open, right? And those restaurants, we talk about legacy, really gave permission to a lot of this next generation to kind of see what Filipino food could look like and how businesses could be run and how Filipino restaurants could survive in a place like New York City. Cedrillon has done it, but all these other restaurants, like even Ugly Kitchen and Maharli, we talked about, gave that permission to a lot of these guys that, hey, I could tell my story through food, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. Right?
I always wonder, Filipinos, and this is for I'm sure other cultures, but when you go to a Filipino restaurant, Filipinos will be like, why is your prices so high? Like, can you
Yeah.
do you ever experience that? Like, discount.
Yes.
do you encounter that?
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
we definitely encounter some of that. Like, the thing about these expensive dishes that we're creating that people complain. I know that probably people knows how to cook this
Yeah.
dish,
That's
and
it.
they rely on that. But beyond that, you don't know the rent, the labor cost, and
Yeah,
everything, and
exactly.
especially when you're in Manhattan, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I always just like politely explain to them like the cost of living here is different from
God.
what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Don't you get
back home.
insulted when people say that?
No, I don't. But instead, I just try to open their mind into it. Like for them to understand what is really like to be in the business. Because you are not just creating food here. Like you are going beyond food. Like what you're creating here is like creating a hub for social people, like so people can socialize in it,
that's
and
right.
and you're basically building this community. So you don't come here just for the adobo to pay for it. You
That's
come
right.
here for
The experience.
to
I hear comments like, "Oh, the adobo is so expensive, and it doesn't even taste like my lola's adobo."
that version of
totally
Lola.
different.
We had
Yeah,
millions
totally
of them.
different,
I
Yeah.
mean, that passed from one generation to another. But
That's right.
at the end of the day, our Lola's the best cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So,
can't compete
Joel,
with
how do you price flip its? Do they pay per project or per plate, per number of
It
guests?
depends. I think what's great about Flip Eats is that it's very customizable as far as like we try to work the best we can. We survive, and the best thing about us, we have low overhead. Aris doesn't have to, he has to worry about rent, this, that, where I don't have that problem.
have that, yeah.
So I have more flexibility as far as like working with your budget in a way, but also keeping our integrity as far as like this is who we are and this is the value that we bring in being a chef, and with my experience, and this is what I put on the table. Right?
And usually, how many courses do you serve?
It's up to you.
Okay.
So we'll work on you. You'll be like, oh, I only have X amount of budget. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry, we can't put that lobster in the, you know what I mean? Like we have to kind of work with you, and this is what we, so we most of the time we work with our clients.
So you talk to the clients.
Oh yeah, that's
You personalize your
right.
service.
There's a lot of back and forth in the
That's right.
email. Like I said, talk about what's your favorite dish. We'll make a menu for you. Oh, I don't like that. I want this dish, and we'll combine it. And then we'll. It's a constant. It's a lot of work, and then from there I have to execute it. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So other than the rent being a challenge, what other challenges have you experienced trying to open up your own business?
I think it's the same concept with the price, right? I think people forget, restaurants or even having someone cook for you is a luxury, right? We forget that sometimes as Filipinos, in the Philippines you have maids, yada yada. But here, it does cost money, people's time and effort, and that's something to get reminded that somebody, like what Aris said, it's not just the food. It's somebody has to take care of you, have to wash those dishes, have to make sure the plates are clean, and there's so much more to it. Right. So I think that's a struggle.
So with Flip it's just you and your wife. Or do you hire other people?
It depends on how big the parties are, right? If it's a bigger party, I would outsource extra chefs
Some
or servers
services.
or
Okay,
whatnot.
that's
We've done weddings, things like that, and we.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah.
So you do catering essentially.
In a way, yeah, but not in a way where let me get your catering menu.
Oh,
Like I
that's
wouldn't
right, that's
have
right.
that. I need some guidance, and then if that's the case,
That's right.
we veer them towards other people. That what? Why don't you check out this place? They have a great
wow.
catering menu. Or
Okay.
why don't you just order the turo turo style and get a buffet?
Yeah.
That might be better for your budget.
That's
Something
right.
like that.
I think like more on Joel's side is like more curated and more like special services that he can offer. Compared to what you can get on a normal turo or a normal catering.
You don't seize food on a menu.
No,
right?
yeah. So basically, what they can offer is probably
That's right.
specialize in it. Like this is what I can do better.
Right.
So Aris, when you go from one restaurant to another, do you have to look for investors?
Well,
is
that.
that-
I mean,
how is that?
I think yes, unless you have this deep pocket, like just to.
And these are not necessarily Filipino, right?
No, in every restaurant, and no matter what type of cuisine is this,
Yeah.
But getting investors is kind of hard as well.
I
So you
know,
have
yeah.
to have some background of reputation of what you've done from the
That's right.
past. So
How has it been
basically,
for
your
you?
portfolio has to be like
Yeah.
impressive for them. I mean, basically, you're trying to tell them like, give me your money.
Give me your
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
Trust me.
where do you find them, and how do you convince them to
You know,
invest in your restaurant?
some you don't even have to find them. They just come to you.
Ah,
And
isn't that great?
yeah, so but this is this strategy that we had that we've been doing or using it from before is not just rely on one or two investors. What you do is just like you create this pie and you put in the number of share, and from there you can attract like small investors as well at the same time. There are two types of investors: that kind of investor or the investor who wants to be involved on the operation.
I mean, hands-on.
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 Yeah.
So this investor can also be a chef, a fellow
can be a chef like
Okay.
myself. Like so nowadays I try to avoid partnership that involves an operation. So I mean,
So you
it's
have
just
more
like
control.
more control of if you believe in your vision and turn it into reality, and then you just have to just really focus on it, because other than that, I mean, two heads are sometimes like it
So it's
doesn't
just,
align.
it's
Yeah.
just like there should only be one chef in the kitchen.
Yes. So it's only one person can yell at me, my wife.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. Yes, boss. Like he holds
Can you imagine
she
that
holds the
happening?
dish.
So what are their expectations aside from return
So
investments?
when you build basically building a concept, you start with what is your feasibility study of this restaurant itself.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot. It's a lot to begin with, from location, rent, and how many people were gonna be involved in it on the operation, and then from there you can project how much do you need to provide, able for you just to survive,
To make a profit.
Yeah.
to make a profit.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
but one thing that you should learn is like building a business or restaurant. You don't count on profit right away, because that's what that's just going to frustrate you at the end of the day. So what you do is like you just start it, and then
You
I-
hope and pray that it
you-
builds.
It's
no,
just like
you-
it's just
no,
like
you just
opening a
have to-
newspaper. It's
you
like
just have to
opening a
bel-
newspaper.
Yeah, you go
you
all
just
in
have to
on it.
believe
Yeah,
in it,
yeah.
you know?
That's right.
You just have to believe in your capability of what you can deliver.
Yeah.
probably.
But
So for many years, there will be no profit at all.
Not for many years.
For the
No,
startup
no, it
years.
really depends.
Years,
Now,
yeah. How long did you start to actually get profit after you opened?
you know, it didn't happen overnight. I started like as a chef, and then became a partner,
Partner,
and then did my own thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the most important part here is like building your portfolio or your reputation. How are you going to
That's right.
build this community that will believe in you? Mainly part of that is the biggest contribution that what Ugly Kitchen gave me
Yeah.
is the opportunity to show people like, hey, like I said, this is not just the food.
Yeah.
This is a community base. This is like our
is.
hub.
I loved Ugly Kitchen.
Right?
It was
I mean-
such
Yeah.
a cool
I
place
know.
mean,
to
I,
be.
I
it's
did a
a-
fundraiser with you.
I loved
yeah,
it.
I think we
Yeah.
all
We
did.
did.
Part of us like birthdays,
Yeah.
Yeah.
baptism, you name it, graduation,
Yeah.
whatever event it is. We all contributed in that. So like I said, it's not, you go beyond
Yeah.
what you can do on in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and that's the most important part of that. I think it like something that you don't expect to happen.
So
but
let me
it's
just
built.
very quickly go to Grill 21, which is your first Filipino restaurant,
Yes,
right?
yes.
How long did you stay with them?
I was
It is
part-
now the longest running Filipino
It,
restaurant
yes,
in Manhattan.
yes,
right?
yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
it is.
It is now, yeah.
We opened that 2005 of July 2, 2005.
Yeah,
I
wow.
still remember. It's
That's
just like
right.
yesterday. Yeah, under Marisa Beck,
Beck, yes.
Marisa Beck
Uh-huh.
ownership. Like,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, and I was basically part of the. I did from literally build out to menu development and everything. I stayed with them until up in 2008, 3 years,
2008.
and then I started my own catering company, and
That's
then,
right. Yeah.
then did a couple of years, and then opened up partner again with Cafe 81.
Cafe. That's also hers, right?
No, Cafe 81 is under Bruce that owns Crystal back in
Woodside.
That's right.
in the Woodside.
Yeah.
You know, this is back in 2009. I believe they.
Were you involved with that too?
I was
Cafe
involved there.
21?
That was my first partnership with the owner that under my pool operation.
Okay.
So that was a big break that I got from this this guy. Yeah, and then from there I realized I'm ready. Then
Oh,
Ugly Kitchen
really?
was
And
born
then
in
Ugly
2011. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
So Ugly Kitchen, you were also an owner, a co-owner, and a chef.
I'm a co-owner and a chef. That's my very first restaurant that
Yeah.
really invested in it as well at the same time. I have 3 other partners, which is Ron Ancheta, Frank Pablo, and Randy Libera at that time with his wife, May.
Yeah.
And then we lasted about like 9 years. We
Ah,
we signed the 10-year lease,
Oh.
but we're on our last year,
last year.
and the pandemic.
And then
The
COVID.
pandemic.
and
Yeah,
COVID
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hearing you sound like that you're now a veteran, coming from all
Yeah.
these different stages in the
That's
restaurant
right.
business. Joel, hearing his experience, like, do you feel like that you could ever have a brick and mortar place? or you're like, I'm good right now?
You know,
where I
for
am?
now, I think I'm all right. I mean, it's always obviously something we think about often. You know, I think, you know, having people have access to our food is something that sometimes we think about a lot as far as like, you know, the value, or at least like the work that we put in, that more people could enjoy it. So it is a dream, maybe. I don't know. Like, so we think about it, but for now, we're enjoying
It's
kind
up
of the
there.
flexibility.
It's up
Yeah,
there.
it's never out of the table. Let's
Okay,
put it
okay.
that way.
Yeah,
If you don't want to, if you sleep at night, stay that way.
if you don't want to sleep
I'm sure
at
you
night,
and Rachel
Yeah.
would love to sleep at night
Yeah.
and keep it that way.
I take
Yeah.
naps too. So,
No, wow.
Yeah, no. If you want to close your eyes and see $10,000, it's coming in the next few days. Then,
Oh my God. So the returns are.
So you're doing a great job.
yeah.
Thank you.
Stay where you are. Stay.
So one of the reasons also for restaurants closing is health reasons of the owners, right? And they stopped. They couldn't continue because nobody in the family wanted to take it up, right? I think that's what happened to Elvis.
Yeah.
The people got older.
Yeah, I don't
And I
know
don't
if
think the
anyone
family-
does remember Elvis, but I do
Yeah,
remember,
I remember
still
Elvis too.
right on the corner of 14th Street and
Yeah,
First
that's right.
Avenue. And Ali Elby were there,
Yeah,
and with
yeah.
all her barbecue, munggo, tinapa,
Yeah.
everything you
Wow.
name it. Have you been
No.
there?
No.
No. So this
That
is
was
back
in,
in 2001, no?
East Village, right?
East Village.
It's
yes.
one of the East
right
Village
in,
pioneers,
right in front by
Yeah.
right in front of right across Stuytown.
Yeah,
Yeah, right across downtown, right,
I remember.
right on the exit of 14th Street and First.
That's right.
I remember people would just go there and just like grab like, I believe back then, 2 ulam and a rice is like $10.
Yeah,
Combo,
yeah.
right.
Yung turo-turo.
Combo.
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 Yeah.
Combo
Yeah.
meal.
And
Combo
also,
meal.
another important factor to consider in opening a restaurant is location, right?
Very.
There's a lot of restaurants along the East Village because there are many hospitals
Yes.
around it, right?
I think those days are over. I think
Really? Why?
I think it's not, you just don't look for where the hospital is if you are a Filipino
Why?
restaurant.
Because the audience is not just.
Does the audience change
Yeah.
over the years? Not just years, decades though. Before, you know, when I started 2005, I only rely on the Filipino market.
Yeah.
But after probably 2011, a couple of years after, that kind of changed the game because you are not only catering for the Filipino anymore. Other people like started like, you know, trying to experiment and try to.
So are you saying that the market has widened?
Oh yes, definitely.
I think you
Really?
need to now because just
With the help of social media and all these celebrity chefs like Anthony Bourdain,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he's still around and everything, they definitely gave like a biggest like contribution for us to elevate us
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
for what is really Filipino food. Like, you know, the thing about this nowadays is like before is like when you think of Asian cuisine, the first before you end up a Filipino, you have to think of like Chinese, Thai,
Japanese,
Japanese,
Vietnamese,
or even
Korean.
Malaysian, Korean.
Yeah.
So before they end up choosing Filipino food,
Right.
you have to go. We were underdogs,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And this is the biggest
And where do we
contribution.
rank? Where do we rank now?
Yeah.
Hell, we could be
I don't
number
know,
one.
But
Yeah,
but
I think
but
so.
these are the biggest
Definitely.
contribution that Maharlika, Ugly
Yes.
Kitchen,
That's where I was gonna
go.
Purple
Yeah.
Yum, and this is the
Yeah.
biggest role that they did for
yeah.
us.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a nice
I
thing
think.
to say.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
do you think that you also have contributed to it? I
Yeah.
think you did.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sure,
Aris,
yeah.
you're one of the
Pretty sure.
pioneers
You
too.
really are.
we
Take
definitely
some credit. Take it.
we did like
Yeah.
I said, we put all our heart in there, but you know, it's just not me.
Yes.
It's just like the whole community kind of like who supported that went in and out of that ugly
Oh,
kitchen kind of
that's
like part of that.
So we are being reminded of time before we close. I wanted to ask both of you, what are your favorite Filipino restaurants?
Oh.
What is your favorite Filipino restaurant? Joel, let's start with you.
You know, I just not to tweet anyone's home. I really loved Ugly Kitchen.
Yeah.
Joel, you don't have to say that.
No, I did. You know
How
what it
about
was?
the current one that we could visit
The current
today?
one, you know,
That
I
we could
went to
visit.
Renee's recently in
Oh,
Woodside. I
yes.
loved it.
yeah.
Tito Rad's is
Very homey.
I think he's one of the
Yeah.
only ones doing the panga of tuna, and that's
yeah.
not a lot.
Favorite.
Not a lot of places have that
I
option.
agree,
I
I
love
agree.
that
Favorite.
part.
That's right.
Um,
Kabayan.
Kabayan. My
Kabayan
mom
so
loves
nice.
Kabayan, so we go there often for like,
True,
because my,
true.
my sister would visit from Boston, and we'll go there for
I
early at
I
brunch,
think
like
Kabayan
at
is a
10.
favorite by the boomer generation.
Yeah, I think they like the
They like the
ambiance.
traditional,
with
yeah,
the-
the traditional.
yeah.
I love
What
it.
about
But, You know, I haven't been to
Other-
the new ones like
the new ones,
Knox and Tadhana, and I haven't. They're on the list.
okay.
It's good. We'll do a food tour.
Okay.
We'll do a food tour.
Me,
Joel.
I don't know. I
Joel,
have to
I'm
stick
sorry.
with the Grill 21 probably just because I started that and it's still open.
right.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
proud of what we started and that. But Filipino food, that means Filipino food now is different because it's not what we started like really authentic ones.
Different because it's
Yeah, it's all
fusionized?
fusion. Yeah,
Ah,
I think which is nothing wrong with it. It's just like the problem is like we are introducing this
Yeah.
Filipino cuisine now in a different level. It's just like instead of like going back, probably Joel was right. Go to Queens and you still get the traditional one.
Right.
Traditional.
So you still haven't told us your favorite Filipino restaurant?
Yeah, he said
Grill,
grill.
Grill 21.
Grill.
Aside from Grill 21.
Oh man, I like Tito Rad's as well.
I like Tito
I like
Rad's.
that. I
Ooh,
like
shout out
that.
to Tito Rad's.
Yeah. So
All right. Thanks
Yeah.
so much, guys. And thank you, Aris and Joel. Sorry that we are short on time, but at least now we understand why restaurants come and go. Let me just mention that while many restaurants have left us, many others have opened. We have Tadhana, Tradition, Nax, FOB, Dollar Hits, right? And Patok by Rach. So I hope they stay with us for many more years and that we hope the Filipino community supports them.
yeah.
And on behalf of Rachelle, thanks for watching.
Okay, and before we go, I wanted to just check out some liquid gold here from Joel. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
it?
this is actually just a garlic condiment that you could put on top of anything, season anything.
Yeah.
It's just a garlic. You know, Filipinos love garlic, so this is
Yeah.
something that you could get. You could get it online. We ship nationwide. Liquidgoldgarlic.com. Free shipping after 3 bottles.
Nice.
Great present for like, you know, your Lola that doesn't like to cook so much, or
That's
your
right.
mom,
Easily
I-
make
the
I
college
actually-
student that
fried rice.
doesn't, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I actually tried it. It's very good. I put it on vinegar.
oh
And
yeah.
put it
Kinda like a chili oil, right?
Kind of like a chili oil, but more
And then
garlic
put
because
it
we're
on
Filipino, you
Something
know.
fried, right?
Yes.
Anything fried.
Anything fried,
Anything
steam
fried.
also if you
Love
want to
it.
kind of be
That's
healthy-esque.
right. Thanks
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, thank you
Remember,
for
liquid
you.
gold.
Yeah, thank you.